If tradition does not evolve, it would have died around about the first 25 years that man had existed. It has to evolve. Otherwise, it's like a fly stuck in amber. It's something we can observe, but it no longer has life and momentum. And I have a wonderful friend, a Rebbe called Del Reed. And what Del says is tradition is something that happens when people come together. And what they take away with good intent becomes tradition as well. And with this, with the stories and the wisdom, I tell the same stories that my Bubba told, but I don't tell them the same way because I face a whole different set of circumstances. I'm not being persecuted. I'm not having to flee a country. I'm not in fear of my life. I'm not undergoing pogroms like her grandmother would have been undergoing. And socially and politically and community-wise, my whole world is different. If things don't change, they die. Or the idea that I was telling a story the other night. This is a very old story called The Diamond Girl and the Goat Horn Bee. And I was telling this story, and it's about these rabbis, and they go into this, it's one rabbi, one scholar, and a goat herder, which sounds like the beginning to a good Jewish joke. But they go in and they find out that the king will have anyone, foreigner, killed if they stay overnight. And they have to outwit the palace guards. And I was telling this story about the way they outwit them. And without thinking, I turned around and said, and it left them wondering if they had to really rethink their immigration policy. And of course there was a ripple, because that is as relevant now as it was then. There will always be a princess that can't speak. There will always be a woman whose voice is silenced. There will always be a child that cannot tell what they've seen. There will always be a soldier who is so traumatized that they will seek out death and try and cheat him. So these stories are just as relevant. And I think the mistake that we make is we look, she said warming to a subject, the mistake that we make is we look at these stories and we go, oh, aren't they quaint and aren't they primitive, in this patronising way, and that we must do something to them to make them relative, to make them relevant, to make them exist, to stop them becoming atrophied in tradition. But actually, if you look at them in context, they already have a heartbeat, they're already alive, and like any living thing, they will already evolve. You just have to give them the space to do it. And so we don't need to interpret or do anything. What we just need to do is allow the story to breathe, midrash, work with it, open your mouth, and also allow your listeners and your communities and to make those connections.